are you moving to? Oh. That's what. You know what? Keep attacking me. This is fine. Because you're losing organization as you do this, and then when I counterattack you across this straight crossing, I will be able to demolish you. This will be affecting the manpower, yes, definitely. There's 2 of them now. Well, I guess that one of you, let's pick this guy, should go and destroy them. Done. Okay, their main battle fleet is in this area again. Still sinking those submarines, though, even with their carrier support. I mean, they are sinking a couple of mine. Ooh, hello! Sank a battlecruiser. Nice. Man, my submarines rock. What are we producing right now? Light cruisers. Did we get any more? No, not yet. How many days? 16. Come on, new radar. Expand Curacao refineries. I don't think we need the bauxite mine. I'd love to do this, but this is risky because it's basically 70 days and I could just waste that 70 again. We'll try it. Because I would really like to get the prepare for our return, because that'll make getting trade convoys cheaper. We cannot continue to rely on our allies for equipment and ammunition. I've read that one before. See if we can pull it off. And how are the Japanese doing in terms of manpower? They've currently lost 251,000, of which I've killed the vast majority. This really is Japan versus the Netherlands, this battle. We are losing a couple of fighters. We could add some more. Yeah, let's go and get heavy fighter, another 50. And it's you. Now, one of the other missions I think that we can do is escort. Attempt to prevent enemy planes doing missions in the region. Attempt to achieve air superiority by engaging enemy fighters and secondarily enemy bombers and other planes. So how does one escort bombers? Do you just need to be active in the same area? Must be. Let's send in some more planes then. Yeah, I think so. Okay. That radar is nearly done. We need to keep our coverage up. We rely very heavily on our intelligence here. Come on, radar! It's taking a long time. Did the divisions lose their names? Did they get rebuilt? They're still here. They're at the top. So one of the things I have now done is I found a way of creating name lists. Unfortunately, it's not going to retroactively apply, so I can't add name lists to this. But I do now have it set up, so if I'm building submarines in the future, then every single submarine will be named after a subscriber. Just not in this game. It requires a new game. And I could do that for divisions, I can do that for submarines, I can do that for everything. It was actually surprisingly easy to do. And then basically what I think I'm going to start doing is I'll use the patrons for the army names. And then the ship names. No, the patrons are army names and ship classes. And then subscribers will have ships named after them. Or divisions. We now have like 190 subscribers, so we can pump out quite a few things. In fact, yeah, we are only 7 subscribers away from 200 subs now, which is quite cool. At least I think it was 7. Let me just double check that. Channel analytics. We have a total of 193. So yes, we are indeed 7 subscribers away from 200 subscribers on this channel now. I don't think you escort bombers. The fighters in the air zone get US superiority. That plays like attrition for the bombers in the mission. Don't play hard to find for a time, but this may not have changed. Well, the reason I was asking that is because one of the advantages of the strategic deployment is this. Escort efficiency plus 25%. I think this is one of the problems with the air focuses in particular. There's a few things which just don't compute. Like that one. What does that mean? I have no idea. These guys have... No, these guys have one. Ground support versus air superiority. Huzzah! No. Air support versus ground support. What does that mean? Apparently, what that means is air support is when you're doing air superiority, the bonus that you get from air superiority is modified by that. Ground support is when you're directly bombing someone with close air support or tactical bombers. The damage that you do is modified by that. Speaking of subscribers, Sigru, thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the Mordlings. Thank you very, very much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 6. 6 to go now. Right, was that the radar? That was the radar, finally. Let's go and get more better radar. Oh, and now that we get to here, static anti-air hit chance factor plus 20%. So, state-based ground AA, i.e. the ones that you build in your areas, now get a bonus to damage. That's kind of cool. That was one of the things I added a patch or two ago. Okay, so I want to upgrade my cruiser model. The Muddy Squids are going to get better radar now. I can get radar 2. I think that's all the sub-detection they can get. 12.5. Their surface detection is really nice. I don't think I can increase that any further, though. And these are just going to be known as the Muddy Squid 2s. And then there should be a drop down here. And there will be an extra one, which will be subscribers. And that's how you do it. So we'll save you. These two will need to be... In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cancel you. You have not been built for very long. And you finish in 4 months. How much have you finished? I'm also going to cancel you, and we'll just start completely afresh with Muddy Squid 2s. And I'm going to do 1 in convoys. Whoops, not that way around. That way around. Yeah. And that should also mean that you are ready to join these guys. So you need to say, I want more light cruisers. I want, say, 5. Then this guy needs to be upgraded because your sonar needs to be here and your radar needs to be here. And that also gives you a 12.5 sub-detection. Much better. And no, we don't have the float planes yet. Okay, never mind. Do you have AA? You have 1 AA. Do I want to upgrade that AA? That makes you quite significantly more expensive to upgrade. No, not going to do that. So we'll just call you the Bussy 2. Save that. And now you need to be refitted into one of those. Perfection! Yep, the Muddy Squid class. You got one named after you. From Hoi4 Wiki, it seems that escort and air superiority missions is the same, so the bonus should apply to both missions for all fighter types. Normal, heavy, and jet. Air superiority mission doubles as an escort mission, protecting bombers operating in the region by reducing disruption from enemy fighters. Okay. I wonder if that, like, specifically reduces the disruption, if that's what escort means. Because that could well be. You need to go first, because I would like you to be upgraded. Rapido! You'll be done on the 5th of November. That's acceptable. Right, we have enough for another thing, but I think I'm actually going to go for the decisions. War bonds, what are they? Oh yeah, consumer goods factories. No, I want these two. Unless there are any updates I wish to do. Air Reformer is air experience gain. I mean, air experience is nice. Night operations penalty. Naval strike. Oh, here we go. Enemy air support could also be nice, but that's mostly going to be a thing when we actually land somewhere. You know what? Naval strike. Let's get this, because we are doing a fair amount of that at the moment. Naval bombing, naval agility, naval targeting. That comes up a few times in the doctrine, but I don't actually know what that means. Is that like your chance of hitting someone? Is like accuracy? If someone wants to look that one up on the wiki as well, I'd appreciate it. How's the war over here going? So far so good, although they have actually managed to break across the river there. Making a little bit of a gain here in India, but not a huge amount. And what is the Japanese manpower situation looking like? In fact, we should probably take a look for everyone. So they are on extensive. They're on 800. The Soviets, oh dear, service by requirement. Why have you changed to service by requirement? You don't need to. Because this reduces like your entire industrial output too. Okay, they're on service by requirement. But they do have 7.5 million manpower. Germany is on all-out serve, and they're down to 1.7 million. That's very bad for Germany. Germany is almost out. Italy's even worse. Britain's on service by requirement, so they are one step behind the Germans, which is good. These guys have 1.3 million limited conscription. They're still loyalists, and they still haven't joined anyone. India, 365,000, but they're still volunteer. And I think they can only stay as volunteer because of the new Indian focus tree, which I really dislike. It's not new, it's as of Together for Victory. But the British Raj has one really big problem, and that is this. Agrarian society. Unfortunately, if any other nation takes over India, guess what? That modifier goes away. So it's only the English who are penalised in how many Indians they can recruit. If the British Raj falls to anybody else, then that modifier goes away. And I hate that. I really dislike it. Should be like a local modifier as opposed to a national modifier. Because I know you can do them. Because we have them too. Local non-core manpower plus 25%. You want to do that, but have it just like a minus 69 for the entirety of India or something like that. Has Thailand chosen a side yet? They are allied to Japan, but are not joining it. Which is why all of this is not lit up in combat. Despite being like fully occupied by the Japanese right now. And if you guys ever notice this going hot, tell me and I'll just stick my submarines right here. And just refuse to let any supply through. What if the British Raj gets independence and joins Britain? Does it still stay? I am not sure in that situation. I think that's one of the few ways for Britain to get rid of it. And that's one of the reasons you might actually want to give India independence. Which is... I thought it was here. Apparently they can't get it anymore. Why have you not done this? It's like 6 extra factories here. 8 extra factories. And a research slot. Oh, you have to be fully independent. You have to be fully independent for this. Nope. Huzzah! I think it's one of the outcomes of the Quit India movement event. They haven't done it. If India gets independence, it gets worse. No, it gets worse. Oh, great. The thing is, at the time India was suffering from famine that was largely caused by the colonial administration, but that doesn't answer why, if Japan annexes India, suddenly they have access to the full Indian manpower. Why is it only Britain? That's my problem. If everyone had that penalty too because it's a famine, okay. If it was a famine or an impact you can reduce through focuses, okay. But it's not. And it actually kind of makes India largely useless to British war effort. Like, historically, 1 million Indians served in World War II. I think you can currently get like 150,000 or something like that. What was the second topic Mordred wanted some info on? Naval targeting. What is naval targeting? There should be decisions to recover from it. The last time I had anything to do with India, decisions didn't exist. They might have changed. And Clemphamain, thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the Maudlings. That is definitely a name I recognise. Hello, thank you. And now we're at, what, 5 more? Yeah, 195 out of 200. 5 more subscribers until we hit 200 subs, which is mental. Thank you very much, everyone, really. Right, 1st of November. We have, what, 4 days? Until you're repaired? Yeah, 5th of November. Or upgraded, rather. And then you'll actually be as good at spotting submarines as the Muddy Squid. It's just the Muddy Squids are generally an all-around better ship. I haven't seen any Japanese incursions for a while. How is the Japanese Navy looking? They still have 270 ships or something like that. Compared to the 14. The Japanese are being brought down by 14 Dutch ships. Yes! Homing torpedoes. Oh, that means my submarines are going to be even better now. Lovely. So they are now fully upgraded with the exception of the snorkel and the tier 4. That is fine. Naval doctrine. We could do a little bit more doctrine work. Getting the escort efficiency modifier actually would be quite nice for my cruisers. Then here. Naval targeting plus 10. Naval targeting plus 10. That's one of the reasons I want to know, because we get the second highest naval targeting. During the invasion of India, India's military was the 3rd largest force in the theatre. When will the Soviets get involved? They already are. The Soviets are active and angry. Oh! AA! Yeah. Let's research that. In fact, how are the Soviets doing? That's a good question. Kiev did fall. There's Minsk. Minsk was my last indicator. Oh no, Kiev has not fallen. So Minsk has fallen, but it's taken the Germans about 2 years to do that. Oops, that's not who I meant to check. Oh, I meant to look at the Soviets. So the Soviets are still... Oh yeah, we did already double check their manpower. And yes, I would say that the Soviets are winning this. They've lost 6 million. Germany has lost 3. The question, though, is going to be, what does America do? Because right now, this could go either way. This is still very well balanced. Actually, I think that is the debuff when they get when they go independent. Let me check real fast. Something seems off. No, that agrarian penalty is definitely like the base penalty. I think it might get reduced if they get independence to like 30% instead of 69, but they still definitely get it. Mordred, if it's not too much trouble, can I show this Soviet tree? I remember someone during the 3-day war said they removed the Great Purge. What did they put instead? So the Great Purge... okay, that's something slightly different. So the Soviet Union during the 3-day war, when the players took over, was still in the Great Purge. The Great Purge takes, I think, 2 years to fully disappear. Nope, 3 and a bit years to fully disappear, and there was still like 2.5 years to go. And the longer... As soon as the Great Purge occurs, your entire army is garbage. You get like a 90% penalty to basically all military stats. And then over time, that penalty will get less and less and less and less, but because there was still 2.5 years to go, the Soviet military was terrible. Like, this was 3 years before the Soviets historically joined World War II. So the developers used the console commands to remove the Great Purge debuff that they had, so that the Soviets could actually put up a fight, because if they'd kept it, there was no way. Like you saw on the Monday how quickly the Soviets died when we like did that half an hour where we took over the wildcards and then restarted for the Tuesday. That's because they had the Great Purge penalty. I thought they removed the focus. No, that was simply the debuff because of that particular issue. The Japanese keep on trying to attack the places where the Dutch are holding strong. I'm not going to let them in. And now the Australians are coming in to retake the 2 territories. Because both of these guys are completely out of supplies now. And I'm not going to counterattack because I do not want to abandon the shipyards. Although this guy is currently on the way to do just that. And there we go, we should be able to destroy both of those units now. You can assist. Ooh, we've even got cavalry here. You know what? Cavalry or some kind of motorized as a rapid response would be quite nice. But then that would mean sailing around. And there's no way that I want a full unit of motorized on every single one of these islands. Not happening. We do have enough heavy fighters once again for another air cover. So I think at this point I'm going to switch production of these so it's a little bit more equal. I might even go for more tactical bombers. Because we seem to be winning the war in the sky somehow. So much so I think I may even send you some of my elite Dutch heavy fighters. Hold on. All the others are 50 planes, aren't they? Let's make that a 50 plane as well. Anchor destroyer. Good stuff. Australians took them out. Well done. Now we're going to take this guy out because they failed to secure a port. Now it's just me, but I don't think this war will end in 1945. I think it will, because Germany and Italy are almost out of manpower in 42. I mean, it will take longer to do more damage than that, but so long as our rate of loss doesn't really change, we're just going to out-attrition them. I mean, the dangerous one is Japan. Japan has the potential to do some serious work here. But I think that the Soviets are going to beat Germany, and then the Soviets will take out Europe, and then there's basically going to be the Soviets versus Japan. And this is going to be a weakened Japan thanks to our efforts. Germany has 2.5 million. Yeah, I know, that sounds like a lot, but their rate of loss is going to be pretty high because they are fighting the Soviet Union. And they're already on all-out serve. There's only one more to do after this, and that is scrape the barrel. And remember, every manpower tick that they take decreases their industry even further, so they get even weaker, which means the rate of manpower loss is going to be even higher. That's what's really dangerous. The clinching factor could be the US. Like, what the US does here is going to be paramount. I could upgrade my tactical bombers even further, and I think I want to. It's still 42, so we've got another 2 years, well, 1 year, before the next level. I'm going to increase the bombing, I think. Attack bombers too. Sounds good to me. How's the Navy looking? Okay, so we've got 2 light cruisers now in action. 1 Muddy Squid and 1 Bussy 2. And Fulmer has in fact leveled up. East Indies War Machine actually completed. Excellent! That means we can get prepared for our return. We require large quantities of shipping to transport our troops back to the continent if we wish to aid in the liberation of our homeland. More shipyards and perfecting the craft of building cargo ships should see to this need. It's also going to allow me to get better marines. And we have another 4 military factories now. Well, I think obviously more planes! Naval targeting modifies the targeting efficiency for naval strikes of air wings. Target selection for naval warfare is dependent on the ship's max hit points and damage status modified by the class. Reveal sub, for example, is times 10, a carrier times 70. Air defense like AA reduces the weight modifier. I suppose that the modifier in the tree giving more naval target cancels some of the AA. Wiki's not clear on the topic, sorry. So it's targeting efficiency of the naval strikes, which is then modified by AA, carried by the ships. So if you want to have a carrier, for example, not be targeted by naval strikes, then you really want to maximize the AA. I mean, that makes sense, but I didn't realize just how much. Good to know. Let's continue down the path of improved anti-air, so I can add even more anti-air to my ships. And now we do need a little bit more aluminium. Wait, no. Aluminium is something that I can do myself. By... You're 7 days in. You know what? I'm going to cancel you real quick. I'm going to grab this, which is going to give us another 36 aluminium and another factory. Bauxite from Suriname is of tremendous importance to the production of aluminium for the major powers aeroplane industries. With the current military build-up around the world, the demand for aluminium has increased dramatically, and we could, therefore, undoubtedly increase our exports if we were to open a second bauxite mine in Paranam. Cool. And then further to that, I want to see if I'm actually exporting any stuff. Still no oil going out, no aluminium. We are selling a tiny bit of rubber. Considering we're on free trade, we're selling like nothing. And it looks like we've gotten over the worst of the initial raids. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to remove you from there and have you in the South China Sea instead. Japan is called Siam in. Hold on.